George Blecher here with Zach Cox. Week one of the Patriots season is through. It's a 1-point loss to the Dolphins here at Gillette Stadium to kick things off. But the biggest story leading up all offseason and finally debuting today, Mac Jones at quarterback for the Pats. Zach, a rookie under center, but looked polished. What did you think of his performance?
He did look polished. He looked sharp. After a pretty rough start, actually, to this game, on his first NFL pass attempt, he made what looked like a backward spike. I'm still not exactly sure what he was even trying to do there. He basically just threw the ball on the ground behind him. Johnny Smith ended up recovering it. But after that, this was an excellent performance by Mac Jones. This was a extremely promising performance by a guy who, again, was out here in his first real taste of NFL action. Yes, he played in the preseason, but that was against second, third string defenses. That was against a lot of vanilla schemes, not a lot of aggressive blitz packages or anything like that. He saw a lot of that tonight, got hit a lot tonight, made a lot of really strong throws under pressure. Patriots went 11 for 16 on third down in this game. So a lot to like about Mac Jones coming out of this game. Obviously, the Patriots aren't going to be pleased with the result, but it looks like they have a good quarterback in their rookie.
And while there was a big question mark of who will be under center today for the Patriots, another question was who would lead the receiving corps. Now, it's through 1 week, but it looked like his favorite target today was Nelson Agholor. Their chemistry was on display all afternoon long, and Agholor as well. He comes in with coming off his best year as an Oakland Raider, but had all those drops in Philly. But he looked outstanding today, Zach.
He did, and he's a guy that a lot of people had a lot of questions about going into this season because he seemed like he could be that classic case of a wide receiver. One big season, gets a big contract, then kind of sort of drops back down toward the middle of the pack. And the fact that he really wasn't that impressive in training camp, in the preseason. He had his moments, but wasn't that consistent. Was also dealing with an injury coming into this game. But I agree, he and Mac Jones really had a strong connection in this game. And it wasn't just on deep balls either. He had a lot of intermediate catches under pressure while he was taking hits. I thought it was a very strong game for Nelson Agholor, and that's a guy that the Patriots are going to need for this receiving core to reach his potential.
Now, of course, a 1-point loss today. We're kind of all smiles, but it's a long season. Mac Jones played well. The offense, though, a lot of shortcomings, especially in the red zone. Where do you see the Patriots need to clean up as they get ready for a week 2, another divisional game on the road at the Jets?
Yeah, it's situational football. It's complementary football. As I mentioned before, they went 11 for 16 on third down, which is very strong, but they were 1 for 4 in the red zone. They had three 14-play drives, none of which resulted in touchdowns. They got 3 field goals out of those drives. They had the late fumble by Damian Harris. That was really a killer. That Patriots were driving for what would have been the go-ahead touchdown in the final minutes. Jacoby Myers had a really costly drop on another third down. So just mistakes in key moments and some sort of just un-Patriot football in a lot of instances. They also had 8 penalties for 84 yards. Just plays that you can't really make, especially against a competitive team like the Miami Dolphins that is expecting to be in contention for that for a playoff spot in the AFC East. This is a divisional game. This is an important game for the Patriots, and you see some of those shortcomings show up on the scoreboard.
Now, and the offense kind of seemed out of sync despite how well Mac Jones played. The defense, though, held the Miami offense under 260 yards, did not break 84 yards on the ground either. Tua Tagovailoa under pressure all afternoon long as well. Who stood out to you, whether it was a group or an individual on this Patriots defense today?
I think you saw a lot of big moments from the pass rushers that we've been talking about a lot this summer. Matt Judon had a couple of really big plays earlier in the game. Josh Uche basically killed a guy out here. He ran straight over Liam Eichenberg, the left tackle, to sack Tua Tagovailoa. Saw a pretty good game overall, too, from J.C. Jackson on the back end, but there's just some momentary coverage breakdowns. Overall, I didn't think Tua had a particularly strong game. He had an interception on a pass he just kind of threw up in the air. He had another play just like that could have been picked, but he did beat these Patriots cornerbacks for a couple of big gains, including one deep down the sideline to Devontae Parker over J.C. Jackson, and it's hard to really fault the defense too much when you only give up 17 points, but they came out of the gate slow. They came out a half slow. A lot of things to clean up for that defense, even though there were some good moments.
That's right. So a 1-point loss for the Patriots today, 11 yards away in just 3 minutes. That's when the Damian Harris fumble happened at the end, but his teammates backing him up saying he's bigger than that. They need him down the road and only make the team better. For George Blecher and Zach Cox, tuning out from Gillette Stadium.